So I was looking around on YouTube, and one thing that I noticed is that there wasn't really any sort of guides or anything on movement on this game. And I understand why. The movement isn't anything crazy. It's pretty static. It is slightly better than Rainbow Six movement, but it kind of feels like it in certain ways. But there's actually a little bit more to it than you might think. So in this video, I'm going to break down what I've figured out about movement in this game and how you can try to be moving around as fast as possible. So before I start talking about any of the fancy movement things, I do want to mention just the basic movement options. You have your sprint right here, which is fairly fast. And then you have your normal walking speed, which is about 7/10 the speed of your running speed. Then you have your silent walk speed, which is once again 7/10 of your normal walking speed. And then you have your crouch walking speed, which is the exact same speed as your silent walking speed. So to summarize, you'll be a little bit over twice as fast simply running to your objective than to silent walk or crouch walk. And you're going to be directly in between that time if you just normal walk like this. The next thing that I'm going to bring up is mantling. So when you see something like this, like obviously you can't jump over it, but you can mantle on top of it, right? So it's a pretty decent way to get up onto cover, but you want to try and mantle actually as little as possible. Why? Because you can just do a crouch jump instead, and you'll kind of magnet up right onto the top of this thing. So as you can see, just kind of going like that, and I'm right up here. Now, why would you want to just skip the mantle? Well, if someone is coming at you from over here and you want to get up here for some reason, and let's say they catch you in the middle of your mantle. You are right here, and you can't shoot until you're right on top of it, and the animation is finished. But if you do the little jump, you can go like this. And it's a slightly faster reaction time, which in a game where the time to kill is this fast could actually be the difference between you winning and losing. The next thing that I want to talk about is your knife movement. Your knife is one of the most important pieces of movement in this game. So what you can do with your knife is you can charge it up like this, and when it's charged, you'll do a little bit of a lunge forward. Now, you can also do a little bit of a lunge with just a light tap, but it doesn't send you quite as far. I'll even prove it to you. If I go in this corner right here, if I just do the little charge, I end up about right here. But if I stand in this corner and then do the big charge, I am just ever so slightly forward. But if I mix in a jump to both of these, I end up getting about right here. And if I do the charged one, I end up about right here. So it is technically better to do the charged knife, but in many cases, the little bit of the knife is going to also help you. It's still a little bit of extra movement and a little bit of extra unpredictability. So you might be wondering, what is even the point of this little knife dash? Well, I'll show you. So the first thing that you can do is that you can rotate faster across maps with this. So let's say that I am going over here to help my team on B. I could just run over here like this, but I am wasting a little bit of time when I do this. So let's say that I go back again and I do the knife jump trick. Here's what it looks like. I've made the distance faster, undeniably so, but there's actually a way that you can go even faster than this, and be prepared for this because this is a lot of multitasking to pull this off. So basically, when you do your charge, the game has a little bit of an internal cooldown before you can do it again. You can skip this internal cooldown by swapping to a weapon and swapping back to your knife. So this is what you have to do. It looks like this. And it is ever so slightly faster. So if you want to be 100% optimal with your movement, this is what you have to do. Just like that. And eventually, if you do this enough, it'll just kind of become second nature. But for most people, this is going to be a lot of extra stuff to do for minimal advantage. Now, for those of you who really want to min-max everything, you're going to want to learn how to do this. But for the majority of people, learning this weapon swap technique isn't going to win you any games or anything like that. This is just going to matter for the higher echelon of players. Now, the next thing that will matter for everybody is that you can use the knife to get around corners faster, because the knife will actually change your velocity mid-air. So let's say that I'm jumping forward like this. I can't really like go too much to the side, forward or backward. Like I can kind of do it, but it's nothing crazy. Like if I jump out here and I want to come back, I'm kind of just forced to do the jump. But if I have my knife charged like this, I can run out here, turn around, and I'm right back here. Now you can do two things with this. One is that if someone is shooting at you or you just need to come around this corner like this, you can charge your knife like that, instantly behind the corner. Just slightly faster. Once again, in a game with a time to kill as fast as this could be the difference between you living and dying. The second thing that you can do, which is going to be much more practical, is that you can do jump peeks with this. Normally, you like can kind of do a jump peek, but honestly, you're probably going to get shot if you try to like air strafe like this. The much better way to do the jump peek is going to look like this. And it might seem like you won't get any information out of this. You're not looking on the middle of your screen. You're actually going to want to watch your mini-map to see if any enemies appear. So if it's too fast for you to see anything, hopefully it's also too fast for the enemy to shoot you. If you want to be 100% optimal, when you do a fully charged knife like this, it takes just a little bit of time for it to actually do the lunge. So you want to release the charge when you are going up on your jump. So like this. Just like that. Now, obviously, you can do this, and you'll probably still be fine. But once again, if you want to be super optimal, you want to do it on the way up. The next practical thing with this knife movement is just crossing little areas like this. Let's say that someone is holding this corner right here, and they're just waiting for you, right? And they could come and shoot you at any point. And let's say for whatever reason, you don't want to like peek this corner or engage them. You don't want to do anything like this, and you just want to run across, right? Now, there's a pretty good chance, depending on your elo, that you're just going to get shot right when you walk through this. So instead, you can do something like this, and you're all good. Another thing that you can do with Corona specifically is that his Molotov gives you a damage reduction and a speed boost. So if you really need to clear a gap, for instance, you can do this, and you're pretty much guaranteed to survive. Like, I don't see anyone killing you through that, unless they have literal robot reaction time. One more thing that you can do with the knife is that you can combine it with the crouch jump to go to some places that you probably wouldn't be able to reach. So let's say that you want to get right up here, right? You can't normally clamber on top of this, but if I want to do the knife jump trick, I am now right up here. Now, obviously, you can take the fountain to get up here as well. That's something that you could also do, but there's going to be lots of other examples throughout all of the maps of places that you can't get to with a normal knife jump or a normal crouch jump, but when combining the two, you can. You can kind of get an air strafe in this game. It's not anything as clean as Apex Legends air strafe, but it is something. What you want to do is you just want to hold forward and then hit a directional key while you move your camera to either the right or the left. Just like this, you're going to kind of do it like that. You can also do it backwards if you want to, like that. I'll do it again for you right here. Just like that. So if, let's say, for instance, you want to get around this corner, but you don't have your knife out, this is an option for you. Now, to wrap things up, I'm going to briefly discuss character-specific movement. Now, there's not a ton of it in this game, but there are a few things. The first thing that I wanted to just get out of the way really quickly are the walls on Nitro. Now, obviously, you can climb on top of her walls. They do take a second to actually put up. So what you can actually do is that if they are at the furthest point away from you, by the time that you run up to them, they will kind of pop up. So you can do something like this and kind of just like keep jumping. You can use it as a little bit of an evasive trick. It is super, super niche, but I figured I should mention it. Next up is Jaguar. His T ability can increase his movement speed. So if you want to go ever so slightly faster, you can hit your T and you get a little bit of a speed buff. After that is Corona, who probably has the most movement in this game. He has this nice dash, which is very, very good. And what you want to do is you want to pair the flash into a dash into a Molotov, just like this. Do the flash, dash, molly. There you go. And you also have this extra movement speed and damage reduction when you land. And if you need to get out of here, you can also just, once again, you can dash out. You can also do something like this, and you can chain a knife lunge into a dash to get some extra distance if you feel like it. Next up is Kismet. I figured I should just mention her T ability. Her T ability, when she becomes invulnerable like this, she does have extra movement speed. And finally, there's Axon. On the current build of the game that I'm playing on right now, his guitar is the only thing that lets him slide. But obviously, when you have this guitar out, you can do this nice long slide. It does kind of slow down towards the end, which is why I do this little jump at the end. But there's not really any point to like switching to your knife out of it. It's not super practical. You can kind of do it, but I wouldn't recommend even worrying about that. So obviously what you want to do with this guitar is you can just do a slide jump, kind of pull around a corner like that, and hopefully you have just killed somebody right there. But yeah, hopefully that was a helpful movement guide for all of you out there. I really do hope more people discover more movement techs as this game is out for longer, but for now, that's all that I could find. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.